Today, I'm going to be going to lakes that I've been to a million times and had on video a million times. But today, I actually have a reason. I'm going on a scouting mission for the best parks that have a beach area where a group of people can hang out and use the wave runner. Because, you know, only a couple people can do it at a time. And then a couple more on the beach. That's the kind of thing you do when you have friends. Well, up until this point, I've had pretty much nobody, except one time Craig and family went with me on the wave runner, and that was kind of forced and creepy. So hopefully the next couple times I do this, it's going to be people who want to go and hang out and have a few beers and do some inner tubing. So that'll be fun. I kind of have an idea. The easiest thing will be Lake Summit over by Legoland. That's where I'm starting. And then I'll just drive around while the gas lasts, and we'll see what happens. I don't have to look any further than Lake Summit Park. This is got a really decent beach right here by the boat ramp. Well, I wouldn't call it a beach, but I'd call it a shoreline where it's easy access for a wave runner. You can put some chairs right up here. You know, what the hell? Small lake, so even on a windy day, the waves are going to be smallest here on this smaller lake for tubing. And if you want to go on a bigger lake, you're right there next to Lake Louisa. And there's even where that big tree is down there. I'm going to go there in a second. There's a nice little beach over there, which is away from the ramp, and that's probably where we'd want to hang out if we were going to be drinking and partying. So let's go look over there. This lake system is that there's a ton of parks on it. And whereas most lakes in Florida, you're not allowed to cut down any of the weeds or anything on the shoreline, and I'm sure you're not allowed to here either. But the more people use a park around a boat ramp and anything, the more you're going to wear down the weeds around the edge, and that's just kind of the way people have accepted it over time. If it's used, great. If it's not and they grow back, well, the weeds win, and that's just how it works, because they act as a great filtration system for runoff into lakes. And you know, if you get rid of all the shoreline weeds and plant and vegetation, you're then just dooming your lake to death. It's kind of what happened to Lake Apopka, I believe, in Winter Garden. It's a shame, but that's a huge lake, and it's a mess. It's virtually unusable. Alrighty, let's go look over here. It's pretty clear. This lake gets pretty deep pretty quick, although there's a lot of weeds right here up where I'm at. You know, if you go in and out of here enough, you're going to be fine. Nice shade, natural shade for some chairs. I don't know if this is a city, state, or county park and what the rules and regulations are for alcohol, but there's going to be a couple big ass coolers right there, and that's how it's going to go down. Alright, so I think my scouting trip is over. That was pretty easy. I can go home now. Oh, wait. No, I'm not going to do that. All right. Let's go look at some more. Uh-oh. All right. Well, that pretty much kills it for Lake Summit. We're going to go to Lake Eloise. I don't know of any parks on Lake Eloise. Not a one. But there's, let's see. I don't know if it's Lake Ship is the closest one that has a big ass park. I'm gonna go there first. All right, you've all seen me cruising these lakes before. I don't need to do that. Just gonna look at the parks and the beaching areas. All right, see ya. Doing something I haven't done in a couple of years, and that's try the engine limiter, or the governor. It has an electronic governor on this thing, believe it or not, and I thought it was going to be dramatically different than it is. You turn this thing on, and it's supposed to limit the RPMs on the engine so that it goes slower. What I've noticed is it basically limits the power on the low end, just getting up and on the plane, and then once you're up on the higher end, you only lose 1 or 2 miles an hour. It feels differently in the power, but not in the speed at the top end. So I was just checking it out to see if maybe, you know, I have a bunch of people I don't know driving this thing around. Do I want to keep it on the limiter, or does it even matter? And I think the end result is going to be, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't change the top end speed, and that's where everybody's going to be. So let's see if you can tell a difference on the camera. I'm going to go across Lake Eloise with the limiter on right now, stop in the middle, and then turn it off and see what happens. See if there's a difference in sound or anything that's noticeable on camera, because I don't think there will be. All right, starting at Lake Summit. I think I know what the difference is going to be. It's top end speed, definitely. Let's see. Let me get this thing out, change it up. Let's see, make sure I know how to do this right. Don't drop this thing in the water. There we go. It's off. We're in full speed mode now, baby. Alright, we're over here at the parking lot of Legoland, so I'm going to drive over to the canals, see if you can feel the difference or hear it. Wait a minute, shit's still on. A little fancy editing, you won't even know that I couldn't figure out how to operate my own wave runner. Alright, I think it's off now, so let's see what happens. Well, I gotta tell you what, it may only be a difference of a couple miles an hour on the top end, but on the low end, it's crazy noticeable. And you know, it's funny, I think with somebody who's never been on it before, I am gonna start it on that low mode and let them, you know, mess around for a while, and then without telling them, turn it off, and then take them out and say, okay, now be careful, and then see if they notice the difference, because you can notice it immediately. As soon as you start to accelerate, it's way more powerful. It takes half the time to get up on a plane, and I think that's the whole point. You know, you have an inexperienced driver on here. You want to give them less power so that they're not just jerking, you know, hitting things. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it would help. I think it would. All right, let's go look for some parks. He's messing around for my sake, because I think it's clear to me. I've seen all these parks a bunch of times. There are other parks. There are nicer parks. You know, places that have picnic benches and things, but none as close to Legoland that'll be easy for people to find that actually don't live in Winter Haven. Most of the guys that I'm talking to that want to come out here live in Lake Wales. Lake Summit will be the easiest for them to find, but you know what? Whatever. There's some other. Lake Hartridge has an awesome park. That's my favorite, and it's close to the locks. So if and when they get the locks open, that's a fun experience. I would love to take somebody an inner tube through the lock. Probably illegal as hell, but it'd be fun as crap, wouldn't it? All right. So this is one of the lake ship parks. I like this one. It's on the I don't know, southwest side of the lake. It's got a nice little beach area, but it's all right next to the boat ramp. There's some stuff and a dock over here. There's actually bathrooms here, which makes it kind of nice, but you know what? All you're doing is peeing. The lake works out just fine. Now there is another park here, but it's basically just a bunch of boat ramps and a bunch of weeds. I don't think anybody's ever been intended to actually hang out there and party. It's over there. I'll go next to it, but I probably won't video it because it's not worth the video. Because it's nobody's going there except to launch a boat. All right, you can't even beach your boat. You have to tie it up to a dock, which I did once, and that gave me a big old gouge on the deck of this thing. All right, so Lake Ship has 1 out of 2 parks that are very usable, but still, again, I don't even know how to get there from the road, but you know, that's what Google Maps is for. But Lake Summit, I could tell somebody how to get there. As a matter of fact, I've already done it. Go past Legoland, north, past 1 traffic light, and then turn left on Lake Summit Drive. Pretty easy. Drive around, and then on the left, when you see a park, that's where we are. Now, no matter where you go on this lake system, you're connected. No matter where you put your boat in, you are connected to all these lakes once you're on the water. It's gonna be a long time. Water would have to drop about 6 feet before these lakes would not be connected to each other, and I don't think that's going to happen in the next year. Might take a year or two of drought, and we drop about 4 feet, and some of the lakes will be inaccessible, but the major lakes are all going to be connected. These things are at least 6-7 feet deep, these canals, and most boats only need about 2.5-3 feet, even with an outboard, to get through. Me, on the other hand, I need about 8 inches. Woohoo! The power of the jet. All right, going from Lake Ship to Lake May. Lake May is a teeny tiny little lake that's just basically a connector to, I believe it's Lake Cannon or Lake Howard. I always get these two confused. Which is going to lead me either to Lake Cannon or Lake Howard, whichever I'm not on when I get out of Lake May, and then Hartridge. I'm pretty sure Hartridge is on 2 lakes away, not just 1, but could be mistaken. Wouldn't be the first time. All right, answer. Lake Howard goes from Lake Lulu to May. No, wait. Ship, Lulu to Ship to May to Howard to Cannon to Hartridge. Okay. Cannon, I don't think has any parks on it. But man, it's got the most awesome canal between Howard and Cannon. Look at this. Man. I hate being cliche and saying if I won the lottery, I would own a house on one of the sides. Uh-oh. I'm getting cold. See ya. Beautiful, as all these lakes are, but ain't one public park on this lake. So it's either Hartridge or I'm going, I don't know, through the oh crap, now that I think about it, Hartridge is on the other side of the lock. Wait, no, it's before the lock, so we should be there next. Okay. Forgot about Lake Idlewild, which is connected to Cannon. This is the lake that goes to Lake Hartridge, where the nice park is. Okay. There's always something you forget, right? And then the last thing I'm going to do is check on the lock one more time from this end, which the last two I was on the other end. And the realization is, as long as the lock is closed, this is the side to be on, because it's a hell of a lot more fun and a lot. To be honest, this is my favorite park, Hartridge. It's got a flush toilet situation. It's got lots of shoreline that you can play around with. I'm gonna look at this on the map and see how far away from Legoland this is, because man, I'd much rather come here. There's the Lake Summit is fine, but this is better. Okay? There's even little gazebos with picnic benches. That's the word I was looking for. All right. Lake Hartridge is wins by a landslide, except for the fact that nobody knows where it is. All right, I'm approaching the locks from Lake Hartridge. You see the crane, and what's screwed up is it looks like an army crane vehicle. It's flat green. I don't see a sign that says closed. I bet you, oh, I see it now. It's on the button. Well, there's life in the big, oh my God, the lake level on this side is so high that it's almost overflowing the lock. Never thought I'd see this, but I am. I'm looking at it right now. That's insane. There's obviously nobody here repairing, so there's no hurry for this. But you should see the other side of this. It's a mess. Man, the debris and the bull crap on the other side there is gross. Alright. I'm out. So it's Hartridge or Summit, whichever anybody wants to go to. Okay, I'm getting my hopes up for nothing, probably. Because like everything else, I ain't got no friends. Even my family won't go out on me on this thing. Everybody a little too scared of the alligator. Ridiculous. I'm gonna study alligators. You know what? That ought to be my damn vocation. It's ridiculous. The damn alligator, maligned lizard. What a shame. They're such a peaceful little lizard. Big lizard, sorry. Let's not get them confused with crocodiles. Alligators are wonderful. Basically hurt you because they're protecting their young, which, what reptile has a reputation for that? None, except an alligator. All right, bye-bye. You know, I hate looking stupid, but every time I come back on these lakes, I seem to find something different. I found that weird marina that had long been abandoned. And then now it looks like it's trying to be rebuilt. There's some houses back here. Beautiful houses. That are on this weird little canal. It seems to have been seriously dug out. There's a massive pile over here of dirt that leads to Lake May, which is weird because Lake May is friggin' tiny, but by the same token, guess what? Lake May connected to a billion other lakes. And there you go. I've driven by this probably 25 times and not seen this. And that's what I love about being in Central Florida and driving on these lakes. It's awesome. The beauty of owning a piece of land on one of these lakes is, you know, you've got, oh, it's worth a ton of money because of the view. All right. But there's still a ton of people that won't use these lakes because there might be an alligator in the lake. No, there not might be. There is an alligator. There's a ton of alligators in every lake. Right now, where I'm at, there's alligators probably on the left and the right of me. I don't care. Alligators are cool. They hear this engine, they go, holy crap, what is that? And they go the other direction. They're not coming toward me. To what end? So they can die? Because that's what they think. Alligators are awesome. I tried to position myself in the middle of Lake Eloise, but I don't think I am. I'm pretty... maybe not right in the middle, but I'm close. And, you know, this is a beautiful lake. Unfortunately, there's no parks here on this lake. So Lake Summit will have to do. But you know what? We're like 2 inches away from this lake, from Lake Summit. And that's the beauty of it. It's like I could confuse the dudes that are drinking with the inner tube and then yank them through the canal. And then boom, be in here. And then it'll be like, holy crack-a-mole. What are we doing? Well, ultimately, someday, I don't know what job I'm going to have. I don't know what job Lucy's going to have, but I would love to live on this chain of lakes because this chain of lakes is beautiful. It's not too urban. It's not too anything. It's just right. Amazing. This chain, I don't even know what they call it. I have always called it the Winter Haven Lake chain of lakes. But here you are. They're beautiful. There's so many. There's just enough to keep anybody happy for a lifetime. I know in the short time I've lived in this area and I've been able to go on these lakes, my lifetime is complete. Alligators or not, don't care. Anybody who doesn't use these lakes when they live near them is an idiot. And that's how I feel. And you know what? Alligators are your friends. They keep the population of the fish and, yeah, the fish. They keep the population of the fish down. They eat once a month, dude. They're not going to bite you. They don't care. They're not hungry. Yep. All right. This place wins. Lake Summit. Right across from Legoland. Can't beat it. Beautiful shade. And even has a picnic bench. Shut up. That's where the cooler goes, man. The only thing we might have a problem with this. You know what? We're not swimming. We're just getting on and off a wave runner. Yeah, and we're inner tubing. Didn't say we couldn't do that. No, you didn't. All right. I like it.